When the whistle blows and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna shout out loud, give me an old trombone, give me an old baton before the parade passes by. Hey everybody, Ally Waldman here. Happy St. Patrick's Day. There's our song for Dolly Levi, Dolly Gallagher Levi. If you go by the original play, she was Irish. I was going to do Mother McCree, but I saw somebody already put it up on Facebook. So, happy St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to Sunday with Ally for March 17th, 2013. And I hope I'm not frightening anybody. I did warn you guys that the hair was going. And it is definitely going. Hopefully by next week I will have a wig. I took it into the beauty shop, and hopefully next week I'll be looking a little bit better. So I've got my kind of severe, kind of scary look here. Please don't be upset. I feel okay. I'm not feeling, unwell. I wish I had my hair, but as I told you last week, this is the result of chemo. So what can I do? What can I do? But we're not here to carp on that. This is the Barbra Streisand Videocast, and Barbra has her hair and her health and big plans. Every time we think Barbra has, that we could predict what she's going to do or that we know what's going on, she surprises us. Now, it's not official because it has not officially been announced. But in reports this week, starting last Tuesday, Barbra is reportedly going to do a special concert in Israel for the 90th birthday of the president, Shimon Peres. And then they announced that she was going to do 2 additional concerts, I think on June 15th and 16th. Perez's would be, I think, on the 18th. But those concerts would be in Tel Aviv. And now they're saying that this might be part of a European tour. I'm not sure if it's a European tour or if Barbra's doing, going to do South America, Far East, Israel, or if she's doing any tour at all. Like I said, we need to just be a little bit patient and find out exactly what Barbra has in mind when they make the announcement. But it does seem likely, based on the fact that they knew the name of the auditorium where she was singing in Tel Aviv, and they've estimated at least 40,000 people in 2 shows would be there. So obviously it's a fairly big venue. And clearly she would do the Back to Brooklyn show. But until we read it on the message board or Barbra's Facebook page or Barbra's website, or there's an announcement from Dick Gutman, Barbra's publicist, or it shows up in one of the trade publications, I say, hold your horses, okay? Let's just wait and see. But it seems likely. Now, just speculating, if Barbra is going to do these concerts in Israel, that's going to be very, very special. I mean, we knew this concerts in Brooklyn would be very special because it was the first time she ever performed in her hometown. Well, Barbra has been to Israel many, many times as a guest, as a visitor. She's been feted by, celebrities and politicians and heads of state. We know she celebrated the Star Salute Israel's 30th anniversary with the big concert on television where she spoke to Golda Meir. She sang Haktikva, the Israeli national anthem. Barbra is very, very connected to Israel. And remember, there was a bit of controversy in 2012 when she sang for the Israeli Defense Fund, which was a benefit in Beverly Hills, and there was some consternation among some people that she shouldn't be defending the Israeli army, even though the actual charity was not defending the army per se. It was actually in support of the veterans. So it was a cause for, it was almost like a USO type of thing, except for Israel. But Barbra has very strong ties to Israel. So if she is seriously going to do these concerts there, you know she's going to craft the show. I mean, I think it'll be basically the Back to Brooklyn show. There'll be, most of those segments will be there. But there will be some special numbers added that are strictly for Israel. She could do Avinu Malkeinu again with a big choral number. She could do that at the end instead of Make Our Garden Grow. She could also sing Hatikva, which we know she sung before. She could do songs we never expected. She could imagine if Barbra were to go and say to a translator, a lyricist, I want to sing People in Hebrew. Can we translate that? Well, wouldn't that make that special, huh? So I think whatever she decides to do, I think it'll be a very special show. It looks like there are certain elements of the show that could easily be transported. I think Jason Gould has said that he definitely would like to do more concerts, and he actually mentioned going internationally. I think Roz would certainly want to sing with her sister and go on tour with her. Chris Bodie, I think he actually has openings in his concert, in his tour. Il Volo definitely has openings. So there, all the elements that were there in the fall tour could be available for a summer tour, because it looks like this would be something that might be like a June, July type of thing. Now, if she were to do this, one of the reasons I think there might be a few dates in Europe, but we've heard for the very, very longest time that Barbra has definitely been, coaxed, wooed, seduced. People from South America, Brazil have tried to entice her to come there. We know that China has been desperate to get a Streisand concert. And if you're in China, Japan is not that far away. Sony is based in Tokyo. There's other parts of the world where Barbra might be singing other than, London, Paris, Berlin, Vienna, those places. So I think we have to just wait and see where they're putting this together, if they're putting it together, okay? But that brings me to the next question, which is brought up on the Barbra message board, which is, well, if Barbra's doing this, that means Gypsy's dead. No, it isn't. Here's the thing, guys. This is how you got to look at it. Barbra's not choosing a concert over Gypsy. She's going to do both. She wants everything. Remember? I want everything, everything. So, let's say she does June, July with these concerts. Let's say she does 10 shows, because she did, 12 shows in November or October? So let's say she does 10 shows. She comes back to America. They could start filming Gypsy in September. And if Gypsy is not coming out until 2014, there's more than enough time for Gypsy to be done before a 2014 release. We're not even sure if it would be a Christmas release or a fall release, but there's more than enough time to get it done. And I have heard not one thing that has made me believe that Gypsy is not going to be made. As I said to you many, many times before, and I know I sound like a broken record, Joel Silver has renewed contracts with the people involved. People are getting paid to continue working on Gypsy. There will be an announcement made probably around the time of Lincoln Center. I think that's a definite. It's going to happen. And as far as the age thing, the difference between Barbra at 71 or Barbra at 71 and a half is not going to make that much of a difference. As long as she's in good voice, as long as she's feeling strong. She looked amazing at the Oscars. I have no reason to doubt that she's in good shape and that she's ready to do this. She would not be taking it on if she didn't think she could handle it. So that's how I look at it. Now let me check my notes here and see what else to talk about. Lincoln Center. As I think I mentioned to you last week, it sounds like Lincoln Center is going to be something of a tribute to Barbra. I do know there's going to be a massive, film retrospective of her clips. But I think there's going to be people performing as well, kind of like the Music Cares thing. So we have to wait and see who that's going to be. Now, the good news is, regarding another tribute that Barbra's doing, or at least another event she's appearing at, this Power of Love thing for Michael Caine and Quincy Jones' birthday, it's going to be on a broadcast online on, I think, what's called AXS Online. It's Mark Cuban's company. I'll have the definite information for you guys next week because this still has some time to go. But it will be broadcast online. So if you want to see Barbra's appearance and not wait until somebody puts it up on YouTube, which they will, we could see it there. It doesn't say whether Barbra's singing or not. My sources tell me she's probably not singing. She's probably just making a sort of a speech or an announcement. And this is a benefit also. But it's also honoring Quincy Jones is one of her best friends, and she's known Michael Caine forever. So that's Power of Love. Lincoln Center, I don't know whether any of that's going to be broadcast or not. Probably not. Maybe we'll get some highlights. You know, you got to just wait and see. Now, there was another interesting item this week. Of course, you have to, take it with a grain of salt, because it was John Travolta talking about how he desperately wants to be on Barbra's duets album, and how much he wants to sing with her, and how important it is to him, and how good they could sound together. Now, of course, they sounded fine with Olivia Newton-John on the Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas from their Christmas album, but that thing was not well received. I didn't think it was that bad, but apparently other people did. So whether or not Barbra's planning to sing with John Travolta, we'll see. I know she's great friends with him. She loves him as a person. He's gone to all of her concerts. He goes to all of her birthdays. They're really, really tight. I'm just not sure whether Barbra wants to work with him, whether it's in Gypsy or something else. So, we just wait and see. But I thought it's interesting that, people are now throwing their hat in the ring to get on Barbra's duets album. Now, I failed to mention this last week, and I feel terrible. Last week, when I was talking to you about my issues, I neglected to mention the announcement about Valerie Harper revealing that she has brain cancer and probably just has a few months to live. I love Valerie Harper. I always love Valerie Harper. And I think it's very, very interesting that Valerie Harper became a celebrity and a noted actress, an Emmy award-winning actress in pretty much 1970, 71, 72 when the Mary Tyler Moore Show started, before her own show started, Rhoda. And that all coincided with Barbra's rise to success. And Barbra truly was a trailblazer for women of ethnicity. Now, even though Valerie Harper is not Jewish, she was playing a very Jewish character in Rhoda Morgenstern. And I even remember that there were references in those Mary Tyler Moore episodes to Barbra Streisand. Because Barbra was she was the trailblazer. She was the icon. She was the most famous Jewish entertainer, singer, actress in the world. And everybody was talking about her. Rhoda Morgenstern was a Barbra Streisand fan. It's as simple as that. But Valerie Harper's success is due in part to the fact that it was Barbra Streisand and Funny Girl breaking down those walls and the way we were, and even characters that Barbra played that weren't Jewish but were perceived as Semitic in some ways, like Dolly, became her, she made it okay to enjoy and admire and look up to women of ethnicity in particular Jewish women. Anyway, just as I feel like I should tell you all, if you don't have Rhoda season 1, treat yourself. This is good stuff, and you can remember you can appreciate what a brilliant, brilliant actress Valerie Harper is, and I'm going to miss her when she's gone, and I relate. I really do. But I am much more fortunate. I have not been given a timetable like Valerie, and I hope that she breaks all the rules and lives a long time, and I love you. Now, let's do a little Barbra memorabilia, shall we? Okay. Now, this might sound like a little bit of a repeat, but I'm not really sure whether I've done this before. So, if it's a repeat, forgive me. I think I did this a long time ago. When I was with my husband in Disney World, there was a memorabilia shop there on the Disney grounds in the what used to be called the MGM Park. But now I think it's just called the Hollywood Park. Anyway, it was a little place called Sid Cahuenga's, and it had, autographs, and it had some memorabilia posters, this and that. And I went in there, and I found this item. And this came from Barbra's Art Deco house. And if you look at it, it is a couple dancing. And it's almost like, I always thought it was like Fred and Ginger. And it clearly has not been restored or anything. I kept it the way it was. But this, I thought was just such an incredible piece, and I liked it so much that my husband said to me, like, well, if you really, really like it, we'll buy it for you, and it'll be your anniversary gift for our anniversary. So we did. We bought it. Now, a couple of years later, when I was working on the Barbra Streisand Scrapbook, I was buying a lot of photographs and looking for interesting photos to put in the book. And this was before the internet, guys, so you couldn't go online and just search for stuff. And I happened to come across this photo at Jerry Ollinger's movie material store. And this is the picture. And if you look closely, so what was interesting is I bought the picture because it was clearly like 1975. This is Barbra around the time of Funny Lady, and you could see her long hair. I love the jacket and the jeans and the hat. In fact, if I could find that hat, I'd be wearing it. But what was really, really interesting to me when I looked at the photo was that I noticed this. You see that there? That, my friends, is this. It's the same thing. Proof positive that this belonged to Barbra. And it clearly was in one of her homes with the idea of restoring it, using it, doing something with it. She never did, and somehow it ended up at Sid Cahuenga's. By the way, the frame you're looking at is also a Barbra Streisand Art Deco frame that I bought a couple of years later at some other shop. But you could see the old little Art Deco look, all of her Art Deco stuff. So it seemed fitting to me to put the photo in the Art Deco frame and put it with the statue, and they both have been on my bookshelf, and you guys have probably been seeing it. That's the story. Now, one other little item for memorabilia this week. I don't think I ever showed this to you. If I did, I'm repeating myself. I'm repeating myself. Oh my God, I'm repeating myself. What movie is that from? Anyway, when the Broadway album originally was released, it came out, they sent out a special clam box. A clam box is like sort of a video box, plastic video box. And inside was the cassette of the Broadway album and a card and this little paperweight that depicted, as you can see, the album cover. And this little paperweight is quite rare and unusual. Hard to find. Good luck finding this thing. It took me forever. But I always liked it. This is not glass, it's lucite. And it's just so kind of cute. Little Barbara in her little glass case. And so that's one of my little pieces of rare memorabilia. Now, one of the last things I wanted to talk to you guys about was I'm really appreciative of everybody who's purchased who's helped with the Nothing is Impossible project. Let me mention some people. Bev Kibsey and, oh gosh, now I'm going to forget names. Jill Marzullo, you sweetheart. Drew Altman. I'm terrible with names. But everybody who contributed, whether it was $5, $10, $50, thank you so much. I sent out a whole bunch of cards this week, the Barbra movie cards. They went out this week, so you should be getting them very, very soon. And as I was looking through some other stuff, I found some other things that you guys might be interested in. And certainly if you would contribute to the Nothing's Impossible project to help with my medical funds, I'll be glad to, share this stuff with you. Here's one thing. I put out these magazines called Barbra Notes, and they are, pretty cool. They're loaded with photos, color, magazines, and this one's all about the way we were. Here's another one that's all about What's Up, Doc? Here's one I have on A Star is Born. And this is the first one that I did. This was Funny Girl. And then there was Clear Day. Pretty nice, huh? They're all really, really nicely done. Fun to read. And I have some, extras of these. If anybody's interested in purchasing them or making a donation and getting them, they're $20 each. And if you're from overseas, please throw in an extra $10 because of the postage. The postage is killing me. But in America, just $20. I'll share as many as I have, and you can make your donation to Nothing's Impossible Project.blogspot.com. And of course, there's no obligation, but I really, really do appreciate everybody's help. This week alone, I had to pay, $250 just to go to the hospital to get my chemotherapy done. I'm going to have to pay $500 next time. These are all beyond what my medical expenses, my monthly medical expenses are. I don't really want to, cry on anybody's shoulder. It's just I'm just being honest, okay? I wish to God sometimes that I lived in England or France or somewhere else where medical coverage is really included in part of your, living expenses. You pay your taxes and you get medical. America's not like that. At least not yet. Maybe someday with Obamacare it will be. But I don't mean to complain. Like I said, if you can help me out, I appreciate it. If you're interested in the magazines, let me know. I'll see what I can do for you. And until next week, this is Ally Waldman, your ever reliable Sunday with Ally girl, your Barbra buddy. And as long as I have air in my lungs and something to say, you're going to see my smiling face, maybe my bald head, but my smiling face every week with more of the Barbra Streisand Videocast. So until next week, this is Ally Waldman signing off. See ya. Bye-bye.